yet to film. And here we are. I have used this device multiple times throughout the weeks over the last 4-week period. Hey team, welcome to today's video. My name is Hayden and welcome to my channel if you are new here. We have a part 2 to a video or a review that I did 4 weeks ago now, and that was the Dermrays Microcurrent FusionGlow device. This is a requested video for me to do a follow-up. I know I said that within the video I was going to do one anyway, so I have bumped it up the list of my videos yet to film. And here we are. I have used this device multiple times throughout the weeks over the last 4-week period. There are 4 modes that you can choose from. There is the cleansing mode, the bright up mode, the eye bright mode, and then the multi-lift mode, all of which have little directions of how many times a week you should be using it. Primarily, I've used it for the cleansing mode as well as the multi-lift mode. I have dabbled in the other areas as well to give it a fair go. Now, if you don't know what I am talking about, I will insert some footage from the first video so we can get caught up to speed before I give the pros and cons and my final thoughts on the device. We're going to put this to the test for the next 14 days and we will see if the claims are actually true. What we are going to take a look at and give a whirl is the Dermrays FusionGlow multifunctional microcurrent facial toning device. Say that 12 times fast. And that is valued at $499 US. It says to long hold for 2 seconds, and you can see it's lit up. It did say when it comes on, it'll be standby mode, all lights will flash. So M1 is the cleanse, deep cleanse mode. You can hear it vibrating. Feels nice and smooth on the skin. We're going to use this serum that I got from SkinCeuticals, which is for cleansing and plumping. We're going to put it on the back of my left hand and we're going to use M1, the cleansing, just to see what it's all about. It is kind of soothing with the vibration. I can only imagine what that must feel like on the face. You can actually see my left hand is a lot smoother. Is that purely because of the device? Of course not. The serum also has done its wonders. But the fact that it worked it in and didn't push the product around, I'm actually quite impressed. Now that we are caught up, and yes, I am using a ring light today, and that's because it is very much wintry, hence the wool here in Melbourne. So I needed some extra help with some light, otherwise you probably wouldn't even see me. As mentioned before, and from what you could see from the previous video, there are 4 modes, and I will just quickly do a rundown as a recap before we dive in. And I have the card right here that comes straight out of the box when you get it. The first one that I used the most was the deep cleanse mode. It tones the skin and cleans dirt, which cannot be removed through standard face washes. And you know, I might actually just do the combined pros and cons right now as we go through. It does clean out the dirt. It gets right in there. I do feel like I used that, and like I mentioned before, the most this mode because it was the most practical, but also I was getting an instant benefit from it. Usually took me a couple of minutes to go over the entire face, and I did that. It does say around 2 to 3 times a week. I did it twice a week at the start and at the end. The second mode is not one of the ones that I use more regularly. I think I've used it 3 times over the course of the 4 weeks. It does say you're supposed to use it once a day, but I only use it 3 times. And that's because it wasn't of benefit to me. It helps other products penetrate deeper into the skin for more moisture, hydration, all of the things, which to be honest, I didn't really see any difference in the first week of using it twice. It was just kind of gimmicky in my opinion. The third one I have used second to the cleanse mode over the last 4-week period, and that is the multi-lift mode, where it states it improves the skin's elasticity, tightens and lifts the skin. And I will do a before and after. I'll come in and we'll see, and I'll compare it to older footage if there is any difference. And then the last one I used it once and it was kind of like, yeah, whatever. And that was the firm eye mode, which says it improves the elasticity of the skin around the eyes. I understand the wand thing is supposed to get closer into your eyes. However, I felt that the other one, because the multi-lift mode, they do the same thing. I could easily get around the eye anyway, so it was a gimmick. I just used the normal head rather than the little one. I feel like the transitioning between modes, when you power on, you do all the thing, that was fine. It was clear on the directional pad. Cleaning the device was pretty easy, very straightforward. You just give it a wipe, make sure it's dry before you put it back away. And charging was super quick, doesn't take long, it's very convenient, and the charge seems to last quite a while. What I don't quite enjoy is there's been multiple times where you use the same buttons for intensity. When you're trying to switch between intensity levels, it's the same button as the mode button. So there's been multiple times in which I've confused it and I've turned it down or I've changed the mode, and that's kind of annoying. I would have liked to see a separate button or maybe an outer button around the central one that switches modes. Obviously that is a personal preference and other people may not have had that same experience. So we're gonna come on in and take a look, and I do have the ring light on so we can get further in. You can see my eye wrinkles. And I always say this when I'm filming, I did not get the greatest amount of sleep last night. It's like my body knows I have to film in the morning. It's like no sleep for you. I don't see any changes in the elasticity of my skin. I don't believe that it's firmed anything up. I mean, it didn't claim it's going to get rid of wrinkles or anything like that, but you can see the clarity of my skin. I really enjoy the cleansing element to the device, which I highly recommend. With that in mind, do I recommend the FusionGlow Microcurrent device? I would say it depends on what you are looking for it to do for you. Of the 4 modes, 2 of them are, in my opinion, the only useful ones. The others are just kind of there that I personally didn't really get anything from. You can get other less obnoxious devices from other brands that do that specific thing that you're looking for, and it's probably cheaper too. But the multi-lift and the cleansing element, I recommend. They were quite good. It's whether or not you want or would use the others to justify the size of the device and the price of the device. If you have since purchased this or you've tried it out or anything of the sort, let me know what your experience has been. Has it been the same? Is it different? I'm always keen to understand and hear if there are some similarities. I will link everything down below, including the discount code if you are interested in picking it up for yourself. Now, if you do enjoy review videos and you like to see the series, why don't you consider subscribing, ringing the bell, dropping a comment, liking? It does help the channel out and helps me produce more videos in the future. Thanks for watching, team. Make sure we do all of the usual, but most importantly, stay tuned.